Okay, we're going live.
Oh my God.
Hit the music, hit the music.
Yay.
All right, good morning, Europe. Good afternoon, Asia. Good late morning, midday, Egypt, where we're joined by Bobby Chinn, TV chef extraordinaire, restaurateur, guitar player, professional comedian, man of many talents.
Let's go, baby.
All right. So, how's lockdown treating you, Bobby?
Lockdown is treating me very well. I'm very fortunate, and I have nothing to complain about. And as Johnny Carson said, 80% of the people don't know. 20% of the people don't want to hear your problems, and 80% are glad you have them.
So, we're here to talk a little bit about cooking. You know, you're a very well-known chef. What are people learning from the lockdown? I see a lot of people who are taking up cooking for the first time. They're taking the kitchen very seriously suddenly.
Yeah. And then they're starting to respect cooks a hell of a lot more and eating at restaurants a hell of a lot more now. They can't send back that oversalted pasta or semi-overcooked or whatever. So I think that it's great. I mean, like, you know, in Dubai, they ran out of chocolate and flour because people are all into baking now.
Yeah.
You're starting to watch, like in Egypt, I haven't seen anything. We just don't really get the variety of ingredients that we would get, say, in Asia. So I do have certain types of cravings. So, for example, getting good noodles, right? So when I go to the market and I see like egg noodles, I'm not going to buy one packet. I want to buy 3 packets and 3 different brands because they're all not going to be the same. And I'll find out which one is the better one for future reference. And so I discovered is that you can't go wrong with Top Ramen, right? You know exactly what you're going to
get. Ramen is the answer. By the way, we get a lot of friendly comments here from Araya Sternberg, Olivier Oyer, people saying hello to you. So ramen is the key ingredient then for lockdown, is what you're telling me.
Soups, dried goods. I can't get a wide variety of vegetables here, like the green leafy greens, and so we don't have that. That doesn't last long. Herbs, they look like they would be served to a horse in Central Park. You know what I mean? It's already looking tired when you get to it, right? So I'm finding that we're better off getting dried goods like risotto, rice, polenta, barley, and mushrooms. So I came across these Chinese mushrooms, and I'm totally now into just cooking with mushrooms. If you haven't seen this great documentary, it's called Fantastic Fungi with Paul Stamets about mycelium and mushrooms. Mind-boggling, but I'm a huge fan. But yeah.
Okay, so fungus. There's fungus among us.
Yes, we are a lot fungus, and they think that our brain evolved by eating these magic mushrooms that create new neural pathways in our brain, and has a lot of similarities between mycelium and the interconnections and stuff like that. So the neural pathways and mycelium operate kind of like in the same way. Just fascinating stuff. So anyway, mushrooms. I'm so into mushrooms. And I wanted to do the hot and sour soup, but you know, I'm a vegetarian, right? I cook anything and everything for everybody else. And the tragedy is, like, I'm realizing I got nothing to eat. There's not much for me to eat, you know? And that's the thing with chefs. We think of everybody else but ourselves sometimes.
So are you doing all the cooking? First of all, where are you and why are you there?
Well, I'm in a place called Sahel. Can I flip the camera over, or this is it?
Let's try it.
Okay, hold on. Like that. Press a button. Nothing happens on the screen. I flip. There it is. I flip. Okay. So nice. This is my cousin's place. Yeah, this is my cousin's.
Wow.
All right. He's got kids, of course. Okay. He's got the whole little lounge area over here. Okay. He's done well. Right. And then that's the Southern Mediterranean right there. This is known as Caesar Bay. Caesar, you can find, actually, it's actually in the water. It's like scattered. If you go swimming, you can find old artifacts left behind, like, you know, this stuff, you know. This is actually in the water on the beach. Someone was thinking of the future, of course, because not kids. Yeah. So it's kind of like his little lounge area. And the water there is the perfect temperature in about another month. So what happened was, I was in Cairo. I got trapped there. I got stuck there at my mother's place, and with my sister and stepfather, and it was a 3-bedroom apartment, and each one of us had it's just way too crowded. We need space. So I told my sister, let's get the hell out of here. We'll go set up the house up in Sahel. So we came up here, and there's nothing. The closest store is about 65 kilometers away. And so when we shop, we're hoarding. But we don't have the toilet paper problem like in the West, because we have bidets over here, like in Europe. Yes. And so, yes, we stuck out here. Had to buy a freezer to store a lot of the food for the frozen stuff. And then we cook. And I cook occasionally. I don't cook every day because my sister really gets into cooking. She wants to make breads and stuff. And everyone's turning into a baker. That's the thing. And so I cook like the dishes that I want to eat that everyone else can eat. But it's not like, where's the meat?
So Christian Berg is saying that it's like Vietnam, where everybody's baking the bread and everybody's cooking in the house.
Yeah. Except in Vietnam, there's a community, the grandmother sits down because she can't stand up, and she peels the herbs or something, and she has authority over everybody else. My mother's not that person. My mother is sitting down, watching TV, asking what we're going to eat today. So it's my sister and I, and the collaboration in this department is, you do your thing, I do my thing, right? And then we question each other, I'm not sure if that's an Asian thing. Is it got to be an Asian thing? Because I'm not really privy to how the whole Asian thing works as a half Asian person. So If you know of any Asians out there, how do siblings do this deal? Or am I a liberated guy by being in the kitchen? I have no idea. No idea.
So you're not doing all the cooking. You're dividing it all up between everyone.
Yeah, it's not expected of me, because everyone is like, you cook all the time. I'm like, well, actually I don't, but I'm not letting everyone know that. I'm cooking like I made hazelnut biscottis because my mother likes something with her coffee in the morning. I'll do the hot and sour soup. I'll do the vegetarian dishes. I'll do some of the Chinese dishes, some Vietnamese dishes. And then my cousin, his wife, likes to cook a lot as well. So she'll cook like a lot of the Arabic food, and then also inspired food. And then we kind of share ideas and stuff like that. And then occasionally I'll come in, I'll help, but I've been really busy. I mean, I thought, what am I going to do with my life? My life has been destroyed by COVID, like everyone else's. And although I've had this really ridiculous life of traveling all the time, and doing culinary events and pop-ups and television has allowed me to have that. Now all of a sudden I'm like, wait a sec, the restaurants are finished for a while, right? Because I don't see funding going to help them, right? I think it's a really tough business, and then the margins aren't so great, and the risk is going to be so much bigger than before that I think people are going to wonder, wait a sec, let's call time out, which is kind of scary. So anyway, restaurants and culinary events, I think, are going to slow down tremendously. And so who am I, and where do I fit in this new?
Well, yet there's an increased interest in cooking. I mean, everybody's doing bread is wildly popular. Baking bread, cooking at home. There is a transformation happening there. Is there not a role you can play in that?
It's kind of different. When I do television, I'm being paid to do it. I know, and someone's telling me what they want from me, right? All of a sudden, I feel I need direction. I've been told what to do my entire life. I've been kind of free to choose what I wanted to do, but then all of a sudden, it's like I'm supposed to. What do you want? So for example, I do these live chats, right? So people say I inspire them. I was like, well, I'm inspired by people like you. by my friend Ken Rosen, a traditional Chinese medicine guy, you know, acupuncturist, from a friend that runs a Blue Dragon in Vietnam of protecting children from human trafficking. You know, people I work with, people that I know, people that made me become a better person. So I'm trying to share all that. So that takes time, right? As you know, right? Then I try to do the live chats. Well, if there's a southern wind here, it's like invasion of the flies. And I just can't, I mean, when the flies start going, I go mental. I just can't handle that. So there's the cooking, there's that, then there's the guitar playing. All right. Yeah. And then there's the reading. And then there's Ramadan. So I'm like fasting. Do I look a little thinner? Oh, darling, look a little thinner. To the trousers. The trousers.
Nice.
Yeah. So I wake up late. I go to bed late. I go to bed at like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And I wake up at like 10, 11, sometimes 12. So thank God we made this conversation. By the time,
good morning, because it's your morning rising conversation.
That's right. This is how it starts. All right. And if it's not starting like this, if I'm not going live, I'm still having this conversation with somebody else, chatting about something. Right. I have my assistant Catherine, so I try and keep each other busy. All right. With tasks, and then it's like, okay, my website's under construction, so I'm trying to have that fixed. I'm trying to fix my digital fingerprint now that I have time. And all of a sudden that I have time, I have no time because I'm spending all my time doing all the things I've been neglecting. It's crazy.
So busy on the north coast of Egypt. That's the message.
Yeah. I think, you know what? A lot of people, when I see like as successful people are all busy with COVID. They're not, there's no slowdown for these people. Either they're in a profession where they're in the digital space where they're still going to work. And then when they're not going to work, they're doing it from home. They had no time off, right? Like, which is bizarre. And then those that are now like, this is a great time to do all the things that I can be doing to either help those in need or in those that or to improve myself. And trust me, there's a lot of room for improvement. So people are busy.
So what are your top tips for people looking to start getting into cooking now for the first time? What would you say people should keep in mind? They're stuck inside. They're trying to figure out what to do. Maybe they have access to more. They're not 60 miles away from a shop, hopefully.
I think you kind of like think of the things that you really want to eat. What are they? Go to YouTube, go to your favorite chefs, see if they have it, go to the recipes, see, and you read like 5 or 6 recipes minimum. Okay. And then you can potentially read the comments. After a while, you start to recognize the recipes that would work and wouldn't work. Mm-hmm. That's how I actually go about it. I'm like, I've never made this before. Let's see, who makes it. And then if you got the ingredients, do it. But if you don't have the ingredients, forget it, because it's not going to be the same. Right. So I think you got to start. It's like painters. You see these people that everybody wants to be Picasso. Okay. But Picasso could actually draw. He can make that look real. Right. In a drawing or a painting. All right. Well, these other artists can't. I think in cooking, you got to know the basics and understand the fundamentals and the authenticity and what makes it authentic to basically go into the whole, okay, so this is my coriander foam. Draped with, gelatin of mahuhu, right? I mean, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So go-to dishes.
Go-to dishes.
Baking tips?
Baking tips?
What are the common mistakes?
Well, I just think follow the Chinese. The Chinese, when they cook, everything is organized. Everything's laid out. It's all ready to go, because when that wok is on, they're not going to waste any gas. They're going to go for it. Go in. Then and it's all like this quick thing. But 80% of cooking, I think, is you having your mise en place, everything being prepared in advance. In baking, it's about temperature as well, right? So make sure that your ingredients, if it says cold butter, then make sure it's cold. If it's not cold enough, stick it in the freezer, right? Have everything ready. It says mixing bowl should be chilled. Stick the mixing bowl in the freezer, right? Oven should be preheated. Make sure the oven is preheated. I think that if you're gonna like do pizzas and baking and stuff like that, get a piece of terracotta tile and just stick in the oven, because it also holds the oven temperature longer, and then you've got a really nice, hot surface to cook on. Little things like that can make a big difference.
Interesting. So are you going to gather all these thoughts together and write another book? What are the book plans?
Boy, you ask really tough questions. Should I expose or should I not expose? Oh, Thomas, stop it, really, honestly. I don't know. I don't know. It's, one of the things is it's being in this time that I think it's really important to kind of like call a timeout, right? And when I say timeout, it's not like I have to be busy for the sake of being busy. That's what got us in this mess to begin with, right? We're all too busy. We're drones. Not drones. What are we? We're, what are the vampire guys? What are the zombies?
Zombies, yes, zombies.
We're zombies. Following, ignoring all the warning signs, we got to keep on going. So I think that it has to be an authentic sense of what it is that you feel you need to do. And I don't think, I think you need to spend the time kind of like visualizing it and understanding your values and what role you want to play and what you can do, and so that takes time. And so, as I said, it's like, well, who am I? So I'm updating my webpage, right? I was like, chef, restaurateur, global nomad. I was like, wait a sec, I'm not a chef anymore. Really, I have no one to manage, right? I'm not a restaurateur. I don't have a restaurant. Oh my God, I have an identity crisis. COVID gave me an identity crisis. Who am I and how do I fit in? That's what the question's been. So I honestly still, I haven't had that like magic star. I'm doing the Ramadan, kind of like seeking kind of like some, maybe I get some spiritual inspiration for suffering for a month. Only 4 days left, I think. Yeah.
Okay, Ari Sternberg is asking, what's the one thing you would have to try in Australia? I guess that's cooking-wise.
What's the one thing I haven't tried in Australia?
What's the one thing one would have to try in Australia?
Oh, mate. What do you got? Oh, the buggies, mate.
Ostrich eggs?
I feel kind of bad robbing an ostrich of its egg. I think a crocodile. You guys are famous for crocodile from Crocodile Dundee. I think Aboriginal food would be interesting. I think that the slow cooking, because that's definitely got to be slow cooking. I don't see them whipping out like quick easy meals in 2 minutes. Australia has such incredible produce. I think you just go to the wine country and you just go eat across there and then understand the amazing stuff of produce that they've got there. It's totally turned into a food culture. When MasterChef is your highest rated culinary show, I would assume that the food has gotten ridiculously good in Australia.
Right. So the bar is set pretty high.
Yeah. They're good. You see a lot of great Australian chefs all over the world now. You show me a place that grows good wine, and I'll show you a place that's got good food.
What is the strangest thing for you about quarantine, lockdown, in this situation?
The strangest?
Yeah, the strangest. What's the thing that struck you as the most odd or different or that you're wrestling with? Either in terms of food or not.
Buddhism has taught me that suffering is for those that do not accept their reality. Too bad I'm a Muslim. No, I figured that that this is how I normally would live. Like I just go with the flow. I'm accepting to everything. Like right now, I can't make this up. The reason why I'm at my cousin's house is because my mother's house is on the beach. There's a huge tractor. I'm not sure if you can hear it. I'm like, why is there a tractor in the beach, in the sand? It says they're going to grow agriculture there. And I was like, but the tide's out. I mean, and you're making so much noise. This is like paradise. And I got like 2 tractors, one from China, one cat, so it's just like, okay, I just accept. So it's just rolling with the punches. It comes with the territory of being Egyptian Chinese, right? You just accept shit. That's how I go. So there's no, I don't really feel, I don't feel incarcerated. I don't feel trapped. I feel that I can do whatever I want when I want it, which is how I've been living for a while, and people have been quite critical of that, but because I'm not thinking of prosperity and economic I don't know, I'm not looking for the pot of gold. I'm looking for like peace of mind.
Yeah, it looks like you're taking it day by day and just figuring it as you go forward. It's not a bad way for people to do it.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for a while.
It's a way of life.
What is it? The slogan from Alcoholics Anonymous? Not that I've been. I still drink. I'm not a quitter. May God give me the strength to change things I can, acceptance for the things I can't, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Yes.
That's it. But they gave it to Alcoholics Anonymous. I think that works for me.
So you're playing a lot of guitar?
Yeah. It's very frustrating because it's like the one thing that I can spend so much time doing, and there's no real benefit until you can play the song from start to finish well. And so there's a whole group of songs. Like I want to do like Fleetwood Mac, Crystal. I think that's a beautiful song. And the thing is, when you're by yourself, you're not going to be, thinking of doing jumping jack flash by yourself. You know what I mean? You need like nice soft music, comforting music. So it's like country music. So I'm learning all these country songs and stuff. And then I still want to be a guitarist, like a lead guitarist, even though I'm not good enough to. But I play a lot of Grateful Dead because, the Dead have played like Althea, 1,276 times, with the last show being, I'm joking, Deadheads are like that. But you learn a bunch of and then you learn the soloing. You just play on top, and you start to hear and kind of see where Jerry Garcia goes with that stuff. And so then I start playing the lead guitar stuff. So there's that, and then I don't really feel I'm achieving much because it adds no value to anyone else's life. Like I'm gonna tell you that if I'm starting to bring the guitar out, my family's like, oh shit, you play that in your room, or it's not like. It's not like, oh, you've gotten so much better. No.
Anti-encouragement.
No, they're okay. They're just, I have to be respectful of the space because everyone's got their space.
Okay. Any final thoughts on pandemic, either cooking, what you're going through, what we're all going through? What are the words of wisdom from Bobby Chinn?
I want everyone to cook hot and sour soup because it's so easy. It's like my huge revelation out of this was like, why haven't I not been cooking? I had it on my menu once, and then I thought I wasn't Chinese enough. That's how sad it is being half Chinese. You know that some Chinese person say, you are no good, too much. No, I did this vegetarian one. It's really easy. All you do is put a little oil in a pot, and you throw in some dry chili flakes. You can use fresh chili as well. You can use cayenne pepper. It's so flexible. That's what I like about it. And then you throw in some star anise. Okay. Yeah. I put the star anise first, but make sure the oil's not too hot because you don't really want to burn the chili, right? And then what I do is I take mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, those dry Chinese mushrooms. You get a handful of those. You put them in water and you boil the crap out of it. Okay, you don't have to worry. It's not like porcinis, right? You just boil. Those things have got body, right? And then you boil those. And I like to reduce the liquid by half. Okay, so it has really intense umami flavor from the mushrooms. Right. Then you turn it off, and then you when they're cool enough to handle, get some kitchen shears and circumcise the head. No, the stem. And then you say take the stem off, and then you slice them. Right? You squeeze them. You cut the stem off, and then you slice them however thick you want. I like them thin. If you want to add wood ear mushrooms to it as well, absolutely fantastic for texture. And then what you do is you throw those mushrooms in, and you stir fry it a little bit in the pot, and the mushrooms are going to absorb those flavors. Right? Then you pour the water over it, and then you add your tofu, right, and your vinegar, right. You can use vinegar, you can use lemon juice, lime juice, so it's just a sour, so it's hot and sour. And in between all that, you're going to taste the umami of the mushrooms, and the you have a little haunting flavor of the star anise. You can throw some chopped tofu in there, garnish with cilantro or fresh coriander, as the English like to say, fresh coriander, otherwise known as cilantro to the Americans. Yeah, and then you splash a little bit of toasted sesame oil, and you're done. Now, if you want to make it extra authentic for the Chinese sake, take like a quarter of a cup of cornstarch and mix it with a half a cup of water or some of the stock that you might have reserved, and you swirl that in. And then if you really want to get funky, take an egg, crack it, whisk it up, and then swirl the soup. Yeah. And while it's swirling with the cornstarch in, you slowly pour the egg in. Then it makes that little ribbon. And then people are like, oh my gosh, how long did you live in China for, Thomas?
Hong Kong and China, 12 years.
Okay, you pull that dish off, and people are like, yeah, well, you lived in China for 12 years.
And it's a pretty simple one.
It's simple, it's filling, it's vegetarian. It offers all the things that makes a dish great, which is contrast of flavor, hot and sour, umami, and then the textures of the tofu. You can use like a soft tofu, or you can use a medium tofu, you can use a hard tofu, whatever the hell you want. Soft tofu is going to crack up, but it's no big deal. Right?
So we're having a little bit of a discussion here. Matthew Eaton saying, you mean coriander?
No, coriander is, you have to say, you can't say coriander. How dare he? How dare he, Thomas? Coriander dry would be the seed. We don't call it dried cilantro. No, Americans are quite practical in that department. We've given it two different names. We've given it cilantro or coriander. But in England, they have to use two words: dry coriander, fresh coriander.
Right.
I said cilantro, right? For the Americans? Good.
Okay. Cool. That's excellent. Thank you so much for that recipe. Thank you for the wisdom. Enjoy the north coast of Egypt. Beautiful weather there. And I hope you're going for a swim.
Water's still too cold. I got a wetsuit, a half wetsuit, you know, because I'm not a really beach person, and I just don't really like cold water. And I put my toe in, and my nipple fell off. It just, boom, it was so cold. So I've got to wait for another month, I think.
Okay. All right. Well, enjoy. Great to speak, Bobby.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.